and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It is. It's time for the Sports Blitz right here with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are here and live 2026, and we got some major problems with our microphone right now. How about now? Are we doing better? Okay, there we go. All right, so either way, 2026 kicking off with a bang. So good to have everybody here. We're pumped up and ready to go, and as always on a Monday, we got Brian Haddad in the building. Brian, how you doing today?
Well, I'll do this for our caller.
That's right.
Throw up the U.
The U is back, baby.
They're pretty good.
And then also on a Monday, we got Jeffrey in the building. Jeffrey, how you doing?
I don't even know what to do. I mean, you're wearing this Indiana shirt.
I know.
I'm trying to guess what Brian's got underneath his, because it's red, and it's probably another Indiana shirt.
No, it was just what was on the top of the pile.
All I can say is this. When I showed up to the studio today, it was a present left on my desk, and it was addressed to me. And it said, guess who? And so I don't know. I'm not into the whole guessing part. But you know what? I do remember that I made a statement about Alabama playing Indiana and that I would send them an Alabama shirt. So I'm not sure if that's who did it or if somebody else did it. But either way, I'm a man of my word. I've got the Indiana shirt on. I don't do this. Like, so you understand, I don't do this. I don't wear other people's clothes. I don't do the whole LSU. I'm an SEC homer. No, I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, and this is killing me to wear it, but you know what? I'm a man of my word, and so I'm going to do it.
Ooh, man.
So, I don't know. But either way.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your
daddy?
And so, you know what? Since it's already talked about, let's go ahead and go into it, guys. This is one of those games that everybody had Alabama, the underdog. There were some people picked them. I didn't pick them. I thought that it was going to be not exactly what it was. I did not expect this kind of curb stomping that took place in the Rose Bowl at the granddaddy of them all. It looked like outside whenever an older kid was playing a younger kid in a game of basketball is what it looked like. And so going forward in that, I will have some takes on it. Brian, I'll go to you first. What was the major problem with the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Offensive line, 100%. If you go back and watch that game, and look, I don't think Alabama would have won the game, you know, with great offensive line play. I think Indiana's a lot better than all of us thought. But the significant weakness in Alabama's play through most of this year, and certainly in this game, offensive line. When Indiana would run guys off the edge, when they would stunt, whatever, the offensive line had no idea who to pick up. It's like they weren't figuring out their assignments, and whatever, Simpson was under pressure way too fast. It was just really difficult. Run blocking was not good. That offensive line play was rough. When you contrast that with what Indiana was doing, They never missed an assignment. I mean, when we got them around the edge, or it was a neat little blitz that Womack had to run. The problem was he was having to rush 6 and 7 to get pressure, and if they pick it up, you're dead. And there was a couple of times where Mendoza had the time, and he was able to hit somebody, and he played an excellent game. Indiana's really good. But all of the problems start at the offensive line. Because they can't run the ball, Indiana knows you're going to throw it.
Yeah.
Okay? When you've only got 2-3 seconds to get rid of it, you're not getting enough yardage. I mean, Williams was catching the ball. That was a plus. But he's getting 3-4 yards a catch when he's a down-the-field kind of guy. And then the fact that you can't keep hold of the ball long enough, your defense, who I thought played fairly well, was on the field so long that they wore out. And then Indiana's run game just started hammering them.
Yeah.
So I think it all starts with Alabama's offensive line not being able to control the line of scrimmage, put Alabama behind the 8 ball from the beginning, and they were just done.
Yeah, and they pinned back their ears and went after them. Jeffrey, when you watched the game, did you think that, because the first series, Alabama kicked to them, they had the ball 3 and out. When you saw that, they were able to get pressure. On the first play, they were able to get pressure out of the gate with the 4 down linemen. They didn't have to blitz anybody at that first series. Did you think Alabama, this was going to be a tough one going forward, or did you just kind of like, well, that's just the first series, big deal?
No, it was just the first series. Thank God I didn't pick the score on this one.
Yeah.
Because I would have not even said 20 or anything like that. I was not even in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I thought Indiana was going to win, but it would be more than 7, but it wouldn't be 20, And this is 35?
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
So let me just say this. If you watched, in which you couldn't help it, now I'm gonna step outside of a little bit of the game and talk about the coverage. I don't know if we've ever seen a football game in college for sure that we've seen a coach showed his face almost the whole game. I mean, if I saw Cignetti one time, I saw him 55 times, and they're just talking about him raising his eyebrow. You know who raises their eyebrow? The Rock. And you can watch it on WWE anytime you want. So I'm kind of a little sideways on it. Obviously, Cignetti's a part of Coach Saban's tree. Yeah. All of those things is we can make ourselves feel better by that. But let me tell you this, what I noticed outside of the game that was kind of interesting. And that was the fact that if you listened and watched him, and I told you this before, I do a lot of the lip reading while I'm watching the games. I just do. It's just something I like to do. I like to see what they're saying. Sometimes it's not so great what they're saying. But I like to watch what they're saying. And I noticed that as they kept putting the camera on Cignetti when they had the football, you could literally see him say, no, let's run it here. No, let's go ahead and throw it here. Mm-hmm. You could literally see him doing that. And so it pushes me to another question about the game, which is totally not about the game, but about college football in general. This team, although it's probably not going to go down as one of the greatest teams ever to play, but this team is a 100% old school. The head football coach is in charge of every single aspect of this football game. If he wants a blitz and he says, hey, I want a blitz right here, it's a blitz. If he wants to run the football right here instead of throwing the football, even if we've got the look that we want, they do what he says. And the other part of it that was crazy to me, and you know what? We got the setup now. We know exactly what the NFL draft is going to be. And I've been wrong before, but I've been right before. So the Raiders have the first pick. If they pick Mendoza, they're crazy, and they busted their heads. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Not one time, not one single time. Now you could say, well, because the play was perfect. Okay, well that lends to be okay. Mendoza is a robot. He does exactly what he is told. His coach tells him, his offensive coordinator tells him, and you saw they started having problems with their headsets. He didn't know what to do. He is a robot of the system.
It's an order taker.
I'm telling
military.
you, yes, and I'm telling you right now, if you draft that guy, the first pick of the draft,
it's not going to be as smart.
It's not going to be good because I don't think he can read defenses. I think he can. I think he can play the. I think he can play.
That's his style. He controls everything. He's a Saban.
He is, but even Saban allowed his coaches to coach, and so with that, I just think Cincinnati. We haven't seen this in a long time. But as far as an old school, everything runs through his headset, and he's got it on every game.
I'm not 100% sure it's that we haven't seen this in a long time, or it's that you saw more of it on the TV. Because I do think there are a lot of head coaches who that is what they will do. They will basically say, we're running here. That's at second 38, and then it's up to the offensive coordinator to then come off of that play, something like that. Or like Saban would do it. It'd be ball control here. His offensive coordinator knew what that was. He had about 8 or 10 plays to go from. Boom, that's where I go. Kirby does that, sometimes to Georgia's detriment, but he does that as well. So I think it probably happens more than we see, but I think you're right. Cignetti has a great deal of control over that program. And look, if you watched Indiana play, that's the most well-coached team I've seen in a long time. It's nothing against the other teams that won. I thought Miami played nearly flawless football. Right. They really did. Their plan was right. Their players executed right. But just overall coaching of every facet of the game, Indiana hardly put a foot wrong. They looked really good. To your point about Mendoza, you could be right on that. Right. You really could.
Or you could be learning from him.
I think there's been a lot of very successful NFL quarterbacks that you could say that about, though, that they were just kind of robots. I don't think everybody has to be the quarterback at the line like Peyton Manning was. Right. Not everyone has to have the wheels and the legs of a Michael Vick or a Kyler Murray or a Randall Cunningham to go old school or whatever like that. Obviously, those give you options. But a lot of times, if you've got the right coach in there, you know what coaches do like? People who carry out what they want them to carry.
Yeah, he's definitely a lover.
I'll tell you that.
They'll love him.
He could be okay if he goes with the right system, and there's a lot of talk that if they are going to go with Mendoza, that the Raiders may pick up Stefanski. Yeah. Right out of the game, which I know we can go into that later. But I don't know. I don't think Mendoza is a franchise quarterback, but I think he can be successful.
Yeah, I think he probably could. So getting onto the other side of the football game, which was the Alabama coach. Now, let me tell you this about what I also saw that was the total opposite. It seems as though Kalen DeBoer allows his coaches to coach. And you, in a perfect world, would say, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to be the CEO. You're supposed to hire guys that are supposed to. But if you look at every single one of the playoff coaches, let's look at all of them. Cristobal, even Golding, all the coaches, Cincinnati, all of them. Every one of them is so engaged in the game and into the players and talking. When you see Kalen DeBoer on the sideline, he looks like he's looking into the sky, watching whether or not we've got cloud coverage or not. So I'm kind of wondering if he is a little bit of a weatherman, a meteorologist, because it doesn't seem like he's coaching on the sideline. He doesn't talk to the players very much as far as when we see him. Now, I obviously know that we're not 100% on him like they were Cignetti. But the fact of the matter is Ryan Grubb calls the game. I don't see Kalen DeBoer doing anything but squinting and looking up with his arms crossed, whereas all of the other ones, Oregon's coach.
What about Ryan Day?
Ryan Day's he was calling the plays. Obviously, that was the side. But, yes, I see him on the sideline chewing his players out, grabbing them. Kalen DeBoer.
Mike Norvell?
Yes. I've seen him. He kind of stepped off this year, and how did it work out for him?
Did not look good.
Okay.
I think you're crossing two things. I think he's engaged with the players, and I think he's engaged with his coordinators as well. And I think what you're seeing is I don't think DeBoer is the kind of guy who's going to go in and just chew you out and light you up in front of everybody else. I don't think that's his makeup. And, yeah, we're used to that with the Sabans and all like that. But
all of the other playoff coaches.
But, again, it doesn't have to be that way. there are a lot of guys who buy into what he's done. And if you see some of the plays that they've made this year, one of the things you could tell about Alabama all this year, whether it was in the Auburn game, the comeback in the South Carolina game, the Oklahoma game, especially on those key fourth downs, what he told his players was, I believe in your ability to go out and get this done. Those guys would run through a wall for him because he gives them that trust. Now, it's different.
It is
Would
different.
I like it to be another way? Maybe, maybe not. We don't see, but I don't think he's big into doing that publicly. That's just not his style. And if you fake that, boy, the kids will turn on you in a heartbeat because they know it's not genuine. So I think it's more that you're not seeing that. I think that's overplayed. I really do. I mean, and I don't know that every kid responds to that anymore.
And
you
they
have
may
to have
not.
the right group.
And they may not, but I'm saying from the standpoint of where Nick Saban come from,
I get it.
That bridge is totally too opposite.
But I will say the other thing, if you're basing it on this last game, I don't know that you can do that. I will say this, and you don't love to see this out of your head coach at any time, but Kalen DeBoer looked like a man who's like, I have no bullets left in my gun.
Yeah.
We're just out of ammo here. And I think he knew it because going for that fourth down that early, I think he knew he had to roll the dice early. He could see the way it was going.
Yeah,
he took
they
a
needed
shot and he
something
missed.
big.
And
Yeah.
it was a bad miss because the momentum
It was a
turned
very bad
hard.
miss.
But I think he already sensed the way this game was going. And you don't love that, but sometimes you know when you got a losing hand.
But then you also got to understand, too, is that this wasn't our first rodeo. We saw this in the Auburn game, like you referred to. We saw it definitely in the SEC championship against Georgia. We could not run the football. And when you become one-dimensional, you become one-dimensional. And that's really what killed us the whole part. Part of the problem was the offensive lineman. I do believe that Ryan Grubb struggled with not knowing the game. I don't know what game plan it was. This was about the whole November all the way until now. I don't know really what the play calls were, and that's the problem. You know, you've got a 250-pound running back in the backfield that's running the Wildcat, and you're going to run a jet sweep with your wide receiver with fourth and maybe a half a yard. And that changed the game so much to the point to where I agree with you. He had to go for it right there, but it also shot another message across the bow of the boat, and it said that we cannot and we don't have any confidence that we can run the football against your front four.
I don't think he had to do it. I think in his mind, he already saw the way it was going, and he convinced himself, I need to get something here. I got to flip this game on its head. So I hated it.
You know who's flipped on their head right now? Alabama fans. Alabama fans are flipped on their head right now. And Jeffrey, you know, you've been a part of it when it gets bad in a big time school like this. Even though or going to the playoff was a great thing, and there's 500 other schools that would love to be in Alabama's situation. You know as well as I do, coming from a winning program like LSU, when they don't win big games, when they don't win,
it only takes one loss.
It takes one loss, and they're already. And so that's the thing. If you look at it, what's the step forward for Kalen DeBoer? Because he's got to do something. He's lost some of his coordinators, and so with that being said, it's going to prove to the fact of, is Womack the guy? Is Grubb the guy? All these other guys matter, but are those two guys the guys? And that's really what you got to ask.
Okay, so you're a manager, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you're a manager, you don't want to make the people underneath you upset or mad. You want to make it a good workplace environment. That's not how football should work, really. No, really, think about it. I mean, like when Saban didn't get his way, he made his assistants and his coordinators feel it. And it's like, get the job done. You messed up, don't do it again.
Right.
DeBoer doesn't put that fear into all of his guys underneath him.
Certainly not publicly.
And that's a problem.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We're not behind the scenes. We don't have all of this stuff.
Look,
we know what the players, they love him. We know that the transfer portal last year was at 0. This year we've gotten some. But is this model that he's cut from, whether it's, you know, whether people don't like him because he's from Washington or because he's from the West Coast or because he's not one of us, as they would say, is that going to be a problem moving forward? Because you know as well as I do, Alabama fans were so ready to jump ship on the first game of the season, the SEC championship, and now we've got people waiting around after this game, and there's a bad taste in our mouth. And if we, we wonder where we go from here, because the standard is keep winning by all means necessary.
So it's different. So there's a different group of people. After the first game, everybody was on. That one was different. Since then, it's been different. But let me tell you something. There's 3 words. Talk about what does DeBoer need to do before next year to change things. 3 words. Strength and conditioning. That's where it starts. Because I'll tell you this. Look, I've been an Alabama fan my whole life. You have. We'll convert Jeff at some point.
Eventually.
But the point is that losing is one thing. We think it's because he lost. We think it's because he's from Washington. We think it's the offensive coordinator. We think it ain't got anything to do with that. Saban had probably the best talent team he ever had in 2010. They lost 3 games that year. Losing is one thing, and it ain't great. When you get pushed around at Alabama, that's the thing that doesn't sit with people. And that's where the change. I really think it goes back. I thought it was deteriorating from the point at which Scott Cochran left. I really do. But it's been even more evident for when DeBoer came in. They fired a lot of the old recruiters and the strength and conditioning coach. We don't get pushed around the way that we have been up front. That's the first change to me that needs to happen, because that will also solve some of your offensive line problems.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem going forward. So either way, we made it to our first break, and I've been wearing this hideous shirt. But you've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 66 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. A variety of slight fog and some clouds tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 59. About the same tomorrow, around 71 with a mixture of slight fog and some sun. Slightly foggy in the morning and then some sun Wednesday and hot around 70. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
Call the Happy Face truck today.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a 5th-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design, build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and one. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for 3. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dunks it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Georgia, Florida, Tuesday. Tip-off at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Some people say our opinions are toxic. We say they're just a little terminal. The Sports Blitz.
This malpractice committee has received a few complaints against you.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're live here and local in the CBC Construction Studio. Got Coach Brian with us, Jeffrey's with us, Randy's running the ones and the twos, and we're pumped up and ready to go. Either way, if you haven't noticed, I am wearing this hideous shirt. I am a man of my word, so I'm going to continue to wear it.
You're making the Ohio State and the Michigan fans mad. And you know there's some to listen.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, they beat Alabama. This is how it works.
They don't cheer within their conference at all.
No.
I mean, it could be Iowa Hawkeyes or the most tame, team in the whole league is probably Maryland, and they still won't cheer for
It's them or nobody.
Exactly. It's us against everybody.
Yeah, well, that's what they think anyway. But either way, we're excited. We've got on the line from the rebelwalk.com, we've got Steve Barnes on the phone line. Steve, how you doing today?
Quick trivia for you guys, and you get 5 seconds to answer. Ready?
You better hurry.
What's the only team that Ole Miss played this year that won its bowl game?
Oh.
5, 4.
It wouldn't be an
3,
SEC team.
2.
I don't know.
Oklahoma didn't lose.
Washington State.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I knew it had to be non-conference.
Man.
Well, Georgia lost to Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Oklahoma lost to Bama. Tulane lost to Ole Miss again. That de facto bowl game. LSU lost to somebody in the Texas Bowl. It was Houston. And then State lost in the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, to Wake Forest.
But you know who did not lose? The Ole Miss Rebels in the house. Are you pumped up about that, Steve? Come on, you got to give me some emotion here.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is one thing I will say. The Superdome was a home game for Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've heard. I mean, I had Georgia friends who were there in the dome, and they're like, "Yeah, we had no chance when like it's crowd versus crowd. We had no chance." And New Orleans is. I mean, it's a big LSU town, but secondly, it's not Tulane. It's pretty much Ole Miss. I mean, I had 5 roommates at Ole Miss from the New Orleans area, from Gretna to Covington and Mandeville. So they were all over the place. It was just, it's not going to be quite that way in Glendale because I looked it up today. A flight from Memphis round trip to Phoenix is $1,900.
Nice.
That's just a flight. Jeez. I mean, that's not your motel. That's not your ground transportation. That's not your food. That's not your incidentals. Now, I'll never believe I said this, but Southwest Airlines, good for you. They are sponsoring a flight out of Jackson, Mississippi at the Medgar Evers Airport to Phoenix, round trip, and actually had to add one because so many people wanted it, $750.
Oh. Wow, that's crazy.
Good for y'all.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Let's talk about the game a little bit, Steve. I will say this. I'm going to say this. So my wife is not a Georgia fan. She's not an Ole Miss fan. But it just seemed like halfway through, maybe 3/4 of the way through, I look over and she's cheering for Ole Miss. And I think in the grand scheme of it all, it felt like the big brother playing little brother, and everybody just seemingly was on little brother's side.
Well, possibly with the exception of her marrying you, unless she lost a bet. She sounds like a smart lady.
A smart lady.
Actually, I saw this thing. I don't know where I saw it, but last week they said the people pulling for Ole Miss in America and not the state of Georgia and the state of Louisiana were the only two not pulling for Ole Miss.
Wow.
I just saw the new one today, and you'd think it's the state of Florida and the state of Louisiana. No, it's Broward and Dade County
That's right.
only.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, yeah, beat those guys. So, I mean, it's really, really weird.
Steve.
I've actually had people call me asking me 2 things, and it's not about coaches. Chambliss, is he going to come back? What does hotty toddy mean, and how do I do the cheer?
Yeah, Steve, you know me long enough to know I find myself in a terribly uncomfortable position here because obviously Mississippi State fan, no love lost in that rivalry at all. I've coached for a very long time. I actually had a lot of understanding. I know people hate me for this, of Lane Kiffin along the way. I didn't love everything he did, but I understand some parts of it. I was never a big Golding guy at Alabama. And I got to tell you, I found myself rooting for them like crazy. It is the most uncomfortable
That's weird.
I have been in a long time. It is a really fun team to get behind. It's amazing. And this, I'm going to lose friends over saying this on the air, but I'm telling you, it's amazing the spirit this team exudes to the public.
The one thing I can say is, all right, my great niece goes to Ole Miss. They don't start school until January 20th.
Wow.
I think she's going back on Wednesday night because they're going to have a watch party in the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And they all want to be together. Would you rather be together with 20,000 people watching Ole Miss, or would you rather be in Seville Quarter in Pensacola with 100?
Yeah.
So it's it's galvanizing. I hate that word now because they keep hearing it so much. But yeah, it's brought everybody together.
It's crazy too when you look at how they did it. Like, and we've been praising Trinidad Chambliss this whole year. I mean, what an outstanding. And the thing is that the kid played lights out. The ball placement on a lot of his throws were just dead on. I wish he was about 6'5". That would make it a whole lot better because he'd be the first pick in the draft and nobody would be talking about him coming back. But I will say this, he played so good, and then Lacey being able to run the football, and that's what real SEC, it was a clash of what real SEC football looked like because of the way they were able to run the football and be able to move and use some of the new style of football, which is your quarterback being athletic and getting outside of the pocket and being able to throw the ball to the people that can make the plays.
Well, it's amazing to me that he's shorter than I am and weighs less than I am, but he's infinitely more talented. But the play of the game, to me, was by Bryson Sanders, the center. When and I don't know why Chambliss did it, but he dropped all the way back almost to the goal line and then ran left to hit Lacey with the first down pass. Two guys were on his butt.
He blocked them both.
And Sanders was coming up, and he had a blindside block to,
yes.
Offensive linemen dream about that thing. But the kid was smart enough to say, if I do it, it's a penalty. Second, I might get thrown out. So he basically did a moving pick in basketball and stuck his arms out to show the officials,
that's right,
I'm not hitting him. Now, that was the best play of the game. The worst play was on the same play. It's the Georgia defensive back. You had Lacey 3 yards short of the first down. You went for the big hit. You didn't wrap him up.
That's right.
And, that's not, detrimental to Georgia. That's detrimental to this state of football. Go for the big hit. Don't go for the sure tackle. It gets you on SportsCenter if you hit somebody like that. It doesn't if you make a sure tackle.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And you saw it even last night in the Steeler game as well. There was a couple of plays that I was just like, why don't we just tackle instead of trying to knock up their head off?
You know what that game reminded me of as I'm watching it? And I missed a fair bit of the first quarter. I came in from about halfway through the third quarter on. It reminded me of the old heavyweight boxing fight that you're going in the last round and both corners have told their guy, we don't think you've got this. We need a knockout. And it's just 3 minutes of haymakers, both sides, and it's the most exciting thing. That's what that game looked like. Even an incompletion had a diving tap or an incredible hit, or like every play for about 20 minutes seemed huge. It was so exciting to watch, so much fun to watch.
And the thing about it was, to me, Steve, is that when the interview, I like listening to the interviews. I like to hear what they say at the end of the game after it's over. All that being said, no film watching, just raw emotion of what went through their minds during the game. And one of the things that I liked that Kirby said was the fact that this is what college football is supposed to be. This is how the games go. And I just thought it was, one of those games that we'll all look back on and say, whether or not Ole Miss, continues this will be the step when they made it, or do you remember how good Ole Miss used to be? You know what I mean? So either way, that game was one of the games to me that made the weekend.
Well, Golding has said the same thing after the last 3 games, actually, is our guys like to play ball, and they want to play another week.
Yeah.
And and Trinidad Chambliss, who, he went through the Division II playoffs, and people can say, well, that's different. No, it's not. You lose, you're gone. It's still the same. One of the receivers, it's Deuce. He played at Penn State, so he was in the title game. Golding was in it with Alabama. He says he's got championship rings. He's not sure where they are. His wife's hiding them somewhere, I guess. But he's like, it's win or go home. You have to have that mentality. And I really do think that helps.
It does. Now, let me ask you this. Obviously, moving forward, there's been a lot of online chatter about who's staying, who's going, not just in the players, but now in the coaches. Can we confirm, because I haven't gotten because there's a lot of stuff talking and a lot of rumors and all that. Are all of the coaches that coached in the college football playoff against Georgia, are they going to Arizona to coach?
Not that I know of. I think that Kevin Smith, the running back coach, and Charlie Weiss, of course, I think those two are, but the inside receiver coach and the wide receiver coach, and their names escape me right now, I think they're in Baton Rouge. But like Judge said, we have so many people in this building who are in those rooms every day. We're going to be fine. Now, I don't think they're going to be fine against Miami because Miami's really, really good, but I think they're fine internally.
Yeah, and that's the thing, being able to take it to the next step, to know, this is where it's going to get interesting to see how they are able to manage all of this. And obviously, we couldn't not talk about it, but the fact that Lane Kiffin is pulling some of his coaches now, realistically, to me, I think the fun and the whole thing about it is all over with now.
Well, I think that Smith and Charlie Weiss, they have a little leverage over him. It's like, okay, you want to do that? We have other offers. We can go somewhere else. Now you're messed up at LSU. Who are you going to get? So I think they have a little leverage. So he almost, there's no way to look at this entire situation without Lane Kiffin looking like a donkey boy to the entire country.
That's Jeff's head football coach you're talking about.
And look, he does a lot of that to himself. I do think, though, it's still.
He did it all to himself.
No, I will say this, and I've been accused of being a Kiffin apologist. That's fine. I've been called worse, but. The thing about it is the system, schedule, all of it is set up for all of this to happen.
Yeah,
so this can be corrected.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Because the portal opens during the middle of all this, you are putting people in a weird position. Could Lane have said, look, we can make it work without these guys? Yeah, he could have. But it doesn't change the fact that the system is flawed and can be fixed.
I think the system, I think that the Ole Miss semester ends April 20th, I guess. Make the portal then. People saying, okay, well, no, you're going to miss spring practice.
So what?
Guess who missed spring practice last year?
Trinidad
Chambliss.
Yep.
Guess who else missed it in 2019? Joe Burrow.
Yep.
That's 15 practices, and you're going to have them there all summer. It's not that big a deal. Put the thing at the end, after the playoffs, after the signing day. Put it at the end.
My question that everybody wants to know, I know that you've got the pulse on this team. You've already said it about Trinidad Chambliss. Obviously, to me, one of the most electrifying players in college football. I get it that he wasn't in New York. I think he should have been, but either way, say what you want about Diego Pavia and all those guys,
or saying,
yeah, true. So if you look at it, having that style of quarterback, being able to come back, that's going to be huge. Do you have any information on Kejuan Lacey?
From what I understand today, the Grow Collective has re-signed him, so he's going to stay.
Okay.
So is the kicker, Canaro. So was the punter, Oscar Bird. And by the way, give that guy some credit. He's from Australia. He had never seen live an American football college game until he got to Ole Miss. Now, he's a punter, but he played, in Australian rules football. You kick the ball. We learned to throw the ball with our dads in the backyard. They learned to kick it to their dads. So he's good at that. He had never been a holder before. He hasn't botched one all year. Give that guy a little credit.
Do you know how much money we're talking for Lacey? Because obviously, everybody saw what he did and how he can really be a changing factor in a game. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I think the deeper they got in the playoffs, I think the farther down the money got. So I think he's about 1.5. I don't know that for a fact, but I would guess about 1.5. And I do know that Chambliss told the collective that, hey, I'll take less to stay here.
Wow.
And I think they said, no, you're not. And Pete Nakos from On 3, who I trust implicitly, I've met him a few times, he ranked the top 10 collectives in college football by efficiency. In other words, what are you getting for your money in results? Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 3, Texas. 4, 5, and 6 are in the playoffs. Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss. 6 through 10, Ole Miss was 6. 7 through 10, Florida State, Nebraska, Louisville, and Missouri. 3 of those are in the Final Four. And by the way, if you're going to make the conference championship game a thing again, 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four didn't even play in it.
Yep, that's true. And that's a big deal. But either way, we're bumped up against the break. Steve, thank you so much for the insight. And you know what? Even though the wife said something about hottie toddy on the couch, I'll never say it except for just talking on the radio.
I agree with that.
Well, I'll send you the fight song lyrics. I'll send you the cheer. I just got a brand new football for my Chihuahua because he ate the other one that had Ole Miss. So I just, I'll send you a duplicate of it.
Well, I'm wearing an Indiana shirt right now, so how much worse can it get?
Oh, Lord.
I know.
Hey, that's Mark Cuban. They're going to be up there in the NIL soon.
Oh, man. Don't want to see it.
They've had a good poll so far.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you next week. When we come back, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this college football playoff. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Who in the Panhandle gives away the best prizes?
ESPN Northwest Florida, and I guess Paul Wilson.
That's right. Come on, Paul. We'll take it.
Because I never get in on those sounds in the morning. So.
All right. We appreciate that.
Certainly.
Those sounds in the morning. Oh, gosh.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Discover the new Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia today and test drive the all-new 2026 Kia, where comfort, safety, and technology come together like never before. Explore the new 2026 SUV family that moves you and drive away in a new 2026 Seltos, Sportage, or Sorento that are built to inspire every journey. Craving performance? Feel the thrill in the luxurious 2026 Kia K5 sedan, crafted for power, style, and you. And for innovation that sparks excitement, check out the 2026 all-electric Kia EV9, a modern masterpiece that's fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. It's the peace of mind that you can trust. Visit us at 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or online at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for details.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Georgia, Florida, Tuesday. Tip-off at 6 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
His major in college,
We're going streaking through the quad.
LSU Jeff, is part of the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Come on, everybody, we're going.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here we go.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've decided to listen today with us right here. You want to be a part of the show? No problem. All you got to do is call in, text in, 850-215-6290. Make Randy work today a little bit instead of standing there looking at us. But either way, we're pumped up and ready to go. We've been talking about this college football playoffs, and it's been a doozy. Jeffrey, your daughter goes to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Does she really believe in this Ole Miss team? I mean, because obviously the next game is in Arizona. Is she going to the game in Arizona?
All right, let's rewind for a second. I got two daughters. First one, she toured LSU, and she decided to go to Louisiana Lafayette for college. And guess what year that was?
Probably a better school.
Guess what year that was? 2019. She could have been a freshman at LSU with Burrow winning a national title. And I felt like it was a missed opportunity. It was before COVID, you know?
Yeah.
So COVID hit right after that. I felt like it was a missed opportunity. Well, the little one, she's in her fourth year at Ole Miss. Okay. So she went to the game, first round. Who did we play? Tulane, right?
Did you say who did we play? Are you is Ole Miss your side
team?
A mouse in your pocket?
It is my side team. I'll tell another story about me wearing an Ole Miss shirt here in town.
Oh,
yeah. It was Friday. I was downtown Panama City, and it had 5 people come up to me and said, "Good win yesterday."
There you go.
Like I was responsible for it.
Yeah, you did.
So wait a minute. So my daughter's at Ole Miss. It's her fourth year. She goes to the Tulane first round game. Second round, she's in the Superdome. They're playing Georgia, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how well they were thinking they would win that, but, you know, so I'm talking in a group text with both my daughters, and I told my youngest, I said, because I'm thinking I could help her get to Glendale, Arizona, right?
Yeah.
You know, the plane fare and all that. And I said, "Can you get tickets to the Fiesta Bowl?" is what I said. She says, "I'm skipping it to save for Miami, which is the national championship." And then we were talking about prices, and I said, "I don't think you understand, like, the national championship tickets are going to be expensive." And she's saying that they're going to be no more than $250 for student tickets. But it's like, can you get those tickets is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, you're going to be camping out.
And I don't know how this old Taco Bell Live Moss section is. I don't know. I'm sure you have to have connections to even get in there.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
But anyway, so this is when sisterly love fails. Are you ready for this?
Oh, Lord.
One of them is, wait, what did she say? The other one that did not go to Ole Miss, she's got a lot of Ole Miss friends, you know. She says, I was hoping y'all would lose. And then the other one says, my other daughter says, "Because you're a loser."
Wow.
And then she's like, now I'm not looking forward to her next trip because she's taking it with a bunch of Ole Miss people and that she's going to have to listen to them. And that's the reason why she wanted Ole Miss to lose.
Oh, my gosh.
How petty.
So if you look at it, though, when you think about this game, when you saw Ole Miss come out and it seemed like it was a little bit different, the feel of it to me was a little bit different than the one before. Obviously, Georgia was up the last time. Nobody really thought Trinidad Chambliss was as good as he is because that was a little bit earlier. When you guys were watching it, did you feel like it was a different? I felt like Ole Miss, they wasn't thinking by the way they were playing that they were just happy to be there. They felt like they deserved to be there, and not only deserved to be there, but they had something to prove.
Yeah, and they had an edge about them for 2 reasons. Number one, they knew Georgia.
Right.
They played them. And number two, they collapsed. They had that Georgia game the first time.
They
in
did.
Athens, they had that lead and they collapsed. So I think they were, that kind of revenge factor was there. The irony was that it was a flip. Georgia had the lead in this one.
Yep.
So I do think there was something to them coming on the field. It seemed like, in a weird way, another game because they're playing an opponent they're familiar with. Whereas if you're playing somebody you haven't seen before, in Ohio State, an Oregon, a USC, somebody
Texas
like
Tech.
that, Texas Tech, it's different. It seems different. I think that helped ground them, kept them focused, and then that little vengeance factor of we can, avenge our only loss of the year, which is amazing in this game. I think that helped
and
them
to
a
talk
lot.
about how much is Lane Kiffin responsible for now. Can't talk about that, really.
I mean, yeah, I'm still going to talk about it because I do think so. I just think those kids had a will to win. I don't listen, I get it. We respect Steve. I love Steve. I love people. But I'm not going to go that far as to say I'm not buying this whole, Golden's this little ball coach that just comes in and tells you this and tells you that. I'm just not buying it. I get that he gives this whole thing of how he presents it like,
He's a
I'm
man
just
of the
whatever.
people.
Okay, if so, he's from Hammond, Louisiana. He's not from Oxford, number one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just push that out there. But I'm just not buying this. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of little about how Dabo Sweeney used to say, little old Clemson's here just to play. We're just glad to be here. And I'm just not buying it.
But that's what galvanizes your players together.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. Look, Golding's done an excellent job in the scenario he's been in. But the people who are discounting the fact that Kiffin helped put this together. Now, look, if he's there, do they win that game? I don't know. Do they beat Tulane? I mean, whatever. You don't know. They could have been fine. They could have been whatever. But the people who want to throw aside everything he did, look, this is a team he assembled. He put together. He coached. They were in this position partly because of things that he did. You don't have to love what he did leaving. You don't have to love what he's done since. But the people who are throwing him aside like, anybody could have coached this team, I don't know about all that. I think he did a good job here.
Yeah, see, and I don't believe that either. And I'm just so surprised at you. I just don't understand. This was your coach. This is your coach now. You let Steve talk about him. You called him. He called him some kind of donkey guy. And then now you're sitting over here with your arms folded or crossed, acting like you're not going to say anything. Do you love Lane Kiffin or not?
No, I don't love him. I mean, he's my coach, and I'm going to root for him. But, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's not like Coach O.
I get it, but
unless Miles is entertaining too.
Jeff is dating a girl he knows cheated. That's what's going on. He's just not sure.
Oh my God!
Have you seen the latest?
Just
memes?
not sure.
I'm confused.
Have you heard the latest memes?
No.
That Lane Kiffin's now going to take the job of president of Venezuela.
Oh gosh! I don't think that's going to happen.
Go anywhere where the money's at.
Oh my gosh! Either way, we're going to go to the Red 7T's phone line. We got Arnold on the line. What's going on today?
Well, man, I'm just watching your show and appreciating it, and I don't like the Indiana shirt.
Neither does Paul.
I don't either.
I will say this. I don't like the way they did the bracket where 4 SEC schools have got to play just to get in the top 4. And they set up the bracket to where either Big Ten's going to be first or second. They ain't got a chance at losing. The one that loses the game, he's third in the nation. The other one is number 1. And they're going to play each other. Now, I can tell you what happened in the Ole Miss game. Trinidad took that team on his shoulders just like Arch Manning did. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an Arch Manning fan, but I'm going to tell you what, that young boy did not want to lose, and he was prepared to do whatever it took to win that game.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot of our Texas fans happy about saying that for sure.
That's true.
But it is true, and you're right about Trinidad. See, that's the thing about it. Like, I get it. Diego Pavia had more numbers. Sayin was on Ohio State undefeated. All of these things. But really, if you look at it, what is the Heisman Trophy? It is the best football player, and there's not too many teams that he can come and play against and him not be the best player on the field.
That's true. Man, y'all have a great day. It's always a pleasure, and looking forward to a brand new year of 104.3 104.3 in Panama City.
We appreciate that. But yeah, Jeff, I mean, let's really, I want more passion, you know? I feel like you're Kalen DeBoer sitting across from me. I need you to be more passionate about Lane Kiffin. Listen, we know we talked a lot about him whenever this was going on, and you had fire in your belly whenever we were talking about him possibly going to the Gators. But when he switched and said, I'm going to LSU, it seemed like there's this calm come about you about Lane Kiffin, and now you won't even take up for the guy. Come on, man. What?
No, it's not that I'm not taking up for him. I just, I'm not infatuated with him, you know? Yeah. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
He's there to do a job.
Maybe we do he might be an Alabama fan before we know it.
He knows the girl cheated. That's what he's doing. He's just, he likes her. He's just being cautious.
Is that what it is?
That's all it is.
Show me the wins.
Yeah.
Show me the wins.
So
he's there for a job, you know? You don't have to like your employer.
Yeah.
So do you like this whole mantra that Pete Golden, obviously it's working, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you like the way he's coming out?
It's not going to last.
You think it's you think it's kind of...
I mean, we've seen this in politics where people have been grassroots and all that, and it's like they just don't have, they just don't have what it takes.
If he can get Trinidad Chambliss back, and he does legitimately have Lacey signed back for the 1.5 or 1.8, whatever they're talking, that's going to be huge. Now, obviously, having somebody to call the plays, that's where I think that's going to where it's going to bite this team, because all of these guys are leaving. That's the problem.
The thing is, it's so perfect right now, the cohesion, everything. And no matter what happens, if they win it, if they go out here, it doesn't matter. Next year, it's going to be unbelievably difficult to recreate that same magic, because there are going to be different parts. Mm-hmm. It's just
schedule.
Hard. So what he's doing now is exactly what needs to be done. If he's trying to be this guy next year, I think it's a mistake on Golding's part.
Yeah.
You have to approach it differently. You're not going to recreate the same magic you have this year. You need to create next year's based on next year.
You know who recreates magic? AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They know exactly how to get you in the right vehicle. Maybe you missed the opportunity to get you a car or a truck at the end of the year. Well, guess what? The new deals are rolling in. 730 West 15th Street, right there past the railroad tracks on 15th Street. You don't want to miss it. Those guys will get you in the right car for the perfect price, and I'm just telling you, those guys will get it done. You were talking about your vehicle getting messed up? Got the fix for that too. Brandon and those guys at Recommended Collision Center, they know exactly what to do. If you've got a door handle, a window that won't go up or down, or maybe you got a bumper that needs to be fixed. Maybe you got a big dent on your roof. Go get them. They know how to set the roof on fire and get it fixed right for you. So go see those guys at Recommended Collision Center. Now, this year is already starting to warm up. You know what warm season means? Baseball season, softball season. Panama City Youth Baseball and Softball season is underway. You need to register now. January 10th, I believe that is Saturday, right? Isn't that Saturday or is that Friday? Saturday is the last day to register. You can go on the ESPN Northwest Florida website, or you can go on the Panama City website, and you can log in there, sign your child up. If you want to be a coach or if you want to be a volunteer just to help the head coach out, you can do that there as well. So make sure you go on there. We've got all of that on our Facebook page as well, so you can do that. But when we come back, you know we've been waiting to talk about them Miami Hurricanes. Is the U back, or is this just a little bit of something else? You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place. Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 66 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. A variety of slight fog and some clouds tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 59. About the same tomorrow, around 71 with a mixture of slight fog and some sun. Slightly foggy in the morning and then some sun Wednesday and hot around 70. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Northwest Florida's home for college football bowl games. WGSX Lynn, WVLQ Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. His major in college, the sweet brown liquor.
Wait, you changed your name to McLovin? McLovin?
LSU Jeff is part of the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 5 o'clock and it's a Monday. We've been off, and man, I'm so glad we're back to be with you right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We are live and local and even worldwide right here in the CBC Construction studios, and I'm pumped up and ready to go. We got Brian in the building. We got Jeffrey here. We got Randy here, and this ugly shirt that I'm wearing is here as well. And again, just to kind of let you know, I'm a man of my word. I never really, and this is the thing, guys. Just to let you know how I'm gonna be the guy is that I didn't really say I would wear the shirt. Mm-hmm. I said I would send you an Alabama shirt. And so somehow, some way, this shirt shows up. And so I'm going to wear it. I don't wear any other shirt. Like, you'll never see me wearing an Auburn Tiger. You'll never see me wearing a Georgia Bulldog. You'll never see me wearing a Florida Gator unless my kid goes there. And my kid does go to UK, so I will wear the UK, but not on game day.
Do you have hatred in individual sports, like it doesn't carry over? Like you hate teams in basketball and then you hate teams in football and separate?
No. It's Alabama or nothing.
But there's no blanket statement like you might not like Indiana in basketball and it carries over to football?
No.
No, it doesn't do that?
I don't like the Big Ten. I don't like Ohio State. I don't like Michigan. I don't like Indiana. I don't like anything above the Mason-Dixon line, realistically. But either way.
Well, I mean, to your point, Jeff, I get that because for a long time, and I grew up a big North Carolina fan because of family connections, I hated Duke basketball. I don't think I hated Duke football, but I think it's more because they weren't a factor.
Yeah.
You know, other than I think 1 year with Spurrier, who cares? Yeah. I didn't even know they had a football team half the time. So I guess I get what you're saying there, but
Duke was in Tallahassee this past weekend, which was kind of cool. Yeah. I wish we could have went, but I didn't get to go.
Yeah. So for LSU, we made the Final Four a couple times, 1980, 1986, and the first one was Louisville. Louisville beat us, and then Louisville turned around and I think they knocked us out in the Final 8 in 85, and then in 86, it was the Indiana Hoosiers knocked us out in the Final Four, and I was not liking Indiana. I didn't like Bobby Knight because of the way he treated people. Yeah. But he got wins, and that's what it was.
And that's all that matters, right? Yeah. And y'all obviously have the worst coach in the history of college basketball. So there you go. That helps out, too.
Oh, and by the way, let you know.
Dale Brown.
You don't know what's happening with Kim Mulkey right now. We started out 14-0. Guess what? Lost to Kentucky.
Because.
And then turned around and lost to Vandy.
She walks out with Kiffin and you lose. That's what happens. That's why he doesn't like Kiffin. We found it.
He better not show up to baseball games because we're a baseball school now.
All right. Well, we've been holding back. And we have to talk about it.
Yeah, we did.
Miami Hurricanes beat. I think they beat them. They pushed them around. That Bain and Mesidor on the defensive line of scrimmage was unbelievable, and they did some things.
The third quarter was their only bad quarter.
But I wouldn't even say it was bad.
I don't know if it was
think
bad.
Ohio State found something. But the thing about it is, as much as those two guys are the sparks, it wasn't just them. Like 22 guys played nearly flawless football.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they really did. It was a great game plan. They came out firing. It's like they had an answer for everything. It was like, I'm really shocked that Day didn't have really short stuff designed early to see, because he had to know they're coming. But what was really impressive was if they rushed 3, they got just as much pressure on Sayin as if they brought 5 or 6.
And that was the key for when Bain would draw the double team, and then they would loop Mesidor around, and then it was like Sayin read that. And then whenever he would move to the other side of the pocket, then one of the other guys would grab him. And that was how
their DBs played beautifully. Their linebackers hit all pretty much the right assignments. I mean, it was for the first half, it was total just... They were in the right spot at the right time every single play. I mean, like I said, it was nearly flawless. The thing is, and I'm sure our guy who loves to say I hate Miami, which I don't, but, will give me grief over this. I think it's actually a testament to how good Miami played that Ohio State is so good talent-wise that the third quarter they found something and they were moving the ball. That's not a knock on Miami. The fact that they took Ohio State's best punch and the key to that game was when they kicked that 50-yard field goal from the guy who had such a bad game against A&M.
Yeah, he did.
That stopped it.
Yeah.
But Miami, like I said, it was they had the fumble early, but a nearly flawless game plan, execution, players. That was brilliant.
Now, just keep in mind, though, with that Miami A&M game, it wasn't the kicker. It was extremely windy, and that's what was affecting that.
It was, but you know how kickers are. That gets in your head. Now you've got a team coming back on you, and you got to kick a 50-yarder. That gets you a little squirrely.
And that zone blocking scheme that Ohio State ran when they found it out. But what was even amazing was the fact that when they changed the defensive front and started doing some different stuff, Miami kind of just shut that down too. And that's really what happened. And the other part is that I do want to bring up that we did talk about on Tuesday and Monday was the fact that I knew that that Ryan Day was going to be able to just throw the ball to
Tate and Smith.
Oh, Smith was great. Smith, every chance they could throw the ball to Smith, they were throwing it to him. It didn't matter if there was a double, triple. It didn't matter. They were throwing the ball to him. They had a concerted effort because you remember against Indiana, they were not doubling Smith as much, but they did not throw the ball. So it does lend to me that they vanillaed it down for Indiana. But then what they really did was what he did in the last year, which was let's throw the ball to Smith. That's going to be our way going forward. And I'll just be honest with you. To me, obviously the defensive line of Miami, but the second part of that is that Ryan Day's game call and having that in that freshman's, and I call him a freshman, I know he's been there longer than that, but saying had that head coach telling him what we're trying to do, trying to get the ball. And if you look at it, Tate, the 1 or 2 balls that they did throw his way were overthrows, and they were check downs more than they were looking at going to him. And I think that, too, says something for the game. So, yes, definitely Miami outplayed them. Definitely was a great play, but there was some self-infliction there, and it's because Ryan Day was calling the plays.
Well, I don't think it was that. I think, once again, the problem was offensive line, and they had some guys out. But if you watch, they were able to figure a few things out, because the couple of times they picked up blitzes in the third quarter were the big plays over the top to Smith.
Right.
They were. I mean, they were able to pick it up. And through that, they were able to find some things. But same thing in the first half. Miami never ran the same rush twice.
Right.
Now, late in the game, when they were just bringing 3, they were. But earlier on, they were mixing things up, and Ohio State's offensive line had no idea who they had. And it was very similar to what Alabama was dealing with. They just did not adjust well. They found something in the third quarter. They were able to give Sain a little more time, and he was hitting where he needed to hit. But, to me, the only negative I saw for Miami, and it's hard to say this is a negative, but the game day announcers actually hit on it during the game. Bain and Mesidor actually had to come out at one point. They were so gassed.
Yeah, they were.
By being that. And that is a bit of a worry, because there is a pretty strong drop-off. So I think they need to measure that just a little bit. But the best thing I saw from Miami is when Fletcher got banged up a little bit and got gassed, the next guys up really played up. Their running backs all played good.
And they did. And Shannon Dawson did a good job, too.
Think about the humidity difference between Miami and Glendale.
Yeah, it's going to be a difference.
Totally different.
Yeah, but let me say this, too. When you look at a national championship style of team, most of the time, if you can look back across the whole time of all the national champions, and you can see where the quarterback was able to move. That was what was another thing for both sides to me that really made me believe in Miami when I was watching this game, was the ability that Beck had not only to see the field, to recognize the pressure, to get the ball to the playmakers, but when that collapsed pocket would start happening, if you remember, there was 2 or 3 times where Beck got outside the pocket and dove across the first down line, and that to me was the difference, because he was able to extend the drive. He was able to make sure that Ohio State wasn't going to just be able to run him down. And if you look at across the board, last year, Will Howard, he made some runs. If you remember the old school, when Jake Coker won it for Alabama, Mac Jones, they made some good runs during that time. So Carson Beck, if you like him, whatever, if you hate him, whatever, the guy really played some really intelligent football as well as athletic football.
He was brilliantly efficient. He was clearly on the same wavelength with his offensive coordinator. Some of those played, the first touchdown, the little play to Fletcher was genius.
Yeah, that was a nice
Reminded me of the Devontae Smith play in the national championship, similar. But it was great. But he looked like a guy who was not going to be denied at any point in that game. So when he needed to put his head down and go for a first down, you could tell, like, I'm getting this line. And I think the reason myself and a lot of other people picked Ohio State was, and I know everybody shouldn't be measured off their worst moment, but in the 2 games that they lost, he was horribly inefficient and gave the ball away. And I think that was what we were always worried, which Carson Beck's going to show up. That was a seasoned veteran that we saw that was highly efficient and was not going to be denied. He played a great game.
It was maturity. I mean, to me.
He was also the scared. I picked this to be a close game and Miami to lose, because I thought, I'm going to give respect to Ohio State. They're defending national champs, right?
Right.
And the fact that the 2 losses, SMU in overtime, right? By 3, I think it was. And then Louisville was 3 or 6 point win? Something like that. So it was the close wins is what I was worried about, because Miami beats everybody by 14 or more points. So the fact that the first 3 games in this round of the playoffs were double-digit wins really kind of shocked me. Now, you want to talk about me having a side team? I know how you have a dislike for Ohio State. My girlfriend's watching me jump out of my seat every time the Hurricanes are sacking Ohio State. She was like, what in the world? I was rooting for the Hurricanes, man. Were you rooting for them, Brian?
I wasn't rooting against them.
I know you were rooting for Miami.
I was.
I'll be honest with you. I had a hard time with that game because the first half shocked me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Miami was good because I knew they were good.
Yeah.
They were so on point and so dominant, and I have not seen Ohio State look like that in a really long time. So I think it took me a while to get past that shock of what I was seeing.
And the thing is like we had Joe Sadecki on here at the beginning of the season, and he was telling us, he was like, guys, listen, I've not seen the lasers that's been thrown. If you remember, he said that. He said the lasers that Carson Beck is throwing at practice and the spin and how you can hear the ball. I believed him, and that's why I believed in Carson Beck, was because he knows what he's talking about. He's been doing it for so long. He said Bernie Kosar, he remembers him throwing like that. And we got to be a part of seeing that this past weekend. Now, on the flip side of it, if you look at Ohio State, Julian Sayin, as good as Bain was, as good as Mesidor was, as good as the DBs were, he could not get out of the pocket. He acted as though he was running in quicksand. And I just wonder if moving forward, because one of their other quarterbacks left and went into the portal, one that everybody was pretty high on, by the way, I just am wondering what the consensus is for the Ohio State faithful with Julian Sayin, because obviously I'm not talking about just having a bad game. He looked lost. He looked slow. He looked out of sorts, and he looked like it looked like he had never played in a high stressed game, and it was almost like the moment was too big.
Now, you talking about the quarterback that just transferred. Do you know where he went?
Bama. Went to Bama first.
I don't know.
Louisville.
There you go.
Oh,
well,
nice.
You know,
wow.
They'll let anybody into college these days.
He's supposed to be really good.
No, I didn't see that, Jeff.
No, I didn't see that. What I did see was 4 guys from Miami in the backfield. One guy reaching, because he's falling down, he's reaching for his leg, and then another guy comes up and just swallows him up. It was crazy.
He was slow. I don't care. I'll disagree with both of you.
No, I don't think
he was slow. He was reacting slow. His decision making was slow.
No, I'll tell you what
it was. Slow
it was.
and running.
Yeah, I see. You and I are going to argue the same thing from 2 different ways. Here's what I think happened. Number one, I still can't believe that the play calls were for long, wide receiver routes.
Alabama stuff.
So I do think that was a little bit worrisome, but I think the biggest thing was he was shocked. He's had good defenses he's played against. He hasn't played against defensive speed the way that he was. I think it took it because he stayed pretty gritty, and I thought he had a really good third and first half of the fourth quarter. I think he adjusted to it fine, but it took him a while because I think that speed of how quick those guys were getting to him really threw him, because it clearly, that's why I don't understand the preparation. It's clearly not what they prepared for.
No.
And I don't know why not. We were even talking about how good Miami's defensive line was, how good Bain and those guys are. I don't know why they thought they were going to have more time or they would pick it up, but Sayin clearly was not expecting that speed. After he settled in a little bit and they made a few adjustments, I thought he actually did a good job of putting the ball on the money on almost every throw. He missed a few. Everybody misses a few. But I don't think he's slow as much as he had no clue how fast those guys were.
They did not prepare for what they had coming because they actually allowed Bain to go one-on-one with their tackle multiple times on multiple sets throughout the whole game. It wasn't just in the first quarter like, oh, we need to chip him with a tight end or we need to chip him with a running back.
Bad preparation.
They did not have any answer for him, and I don't know if y'all saw how far away. Did you see how far away he was lining up? It was just amazing, and how quick he closed the gap. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you, but I do believe that he was just really slow in all of that, and I guess it could be because of how fast they were, but he didn't seem like he was very quick, as sharp as what you would think an Ohio State quarterback
everybody
would be.
remembers the pick six, and everybody thinks that was such a great job by the DB to jump the route. Look, that's good. I mean, they clearly knew what was coming. That play was made, and I don't think it was Bain on this one, but it was made by the right defensive end, because in live action, I was like, he jumped, free play. When you went back and watched, it's like he
got
nailed it.
Yep, he got it.
They were that good coming off the ball every single play. And he absolutely, he didn't jump. I thought he did.
And what is Mario Cristobal? He's an offensive line guy. Yeah. And I believe they were offensively, prepared on that offensive line. But then you also got to look, too, is like the speed that they, as well as I do, Ohio State doesn't see that kind of speed during the year.
That defensive end being around the corner that quick, Panic saying he went to what he knew was open and never looked. So as big a play as it was to jump the route and to be there, that play was made by the defensive end getting off the ball that quickly. Because as soon as he made that jump, after I thought, he's offsides free play, you could just see it. It's like he's just throwing to a spot. He hadn't even looked out there.
Craziest thing, though,
you can't do that in this game.
No, you cannot. Craziest thing, though, is Sayan's older brother played against the cornerback that did the pick six. Wow. And in high school, Sayan's brother threw a pick six to the same cornerback in high school. Yeah. So there you go. That's how's
crazy.
That full circle kind of works.
Look, Miami, when they're on, they're very good.
And because
good.
Because he can throw the football. But you know what Miami can do? Miami is an SEC style. They can run the football.
We talked about it before we went on air.
Yes.
Indiana's so good up front. In the Big Ten schools, we expect that because they have the big corn-fed boys, this, that, or the other, and that's the only school I've seen this year. Georgia, maybe to an extent before the injuries, that is power up front, both sides of the ball, outside of the Big Ten. It's Miami.
Miami, yeah. They play more of an SEC style. They can run the football. And that's
they play a better SEC style than the SEC schools.
Exactly. If they can run the football, don't be surprised if they are able to win it all the way.
Quick analogy. I talked about Miami being untested because of their schedule, Notre Dame, whatever, But now they've beaten Texas A&M and Ohio State, two of the biggest enrollments in the nation. Endowment, they have money and everything. Now they're tested. If you would have told me that they would win 2 playoff games with scoring 10 and 24 points, I would tell you you're crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And now they've been tested, and this is a different team in Ole Miss.
Agree.
Well, I'll tell you this, and having all the stars on the sideline, if you look at what Michael Irvin is doing on the sideline for Miami, and I sent a message to Jeff, and there's a guy at Mosley High School by the name of Cade Brown. Mm-hmm. He gets the fans going. He gets the sidelines going. He loves Mosley football. Michael Irvin is the Cade Brown to the Miami Hurricanes. I'm telling you, that guy is crazy.
Ray Lewis is out there, too.
Yeah, he's out there, but he ain't acting like Michael Irvin.
No.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Either way, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more of that, and we've got some stuff for you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz right here with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 studio line.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. A mixture of slight fog and mostly clouds tonight with a low near 58 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some clouds tomorrow morning, a light breeze and a temperature of 69. About the same in the afternoon and evening, around 71 with partly cloudy skies. Slightly foggy in the morning, followed by some sun Wednesday and very warm around 71. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Ask for special ESPN Northwest Florida pricing.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup. Good and wide. Off the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. This is the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. Dumps it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
Georgia, Florida, Tuesday. Tip-off at 6 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This is the Sports Blitz, where we don't have guests. We have punching bags. The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're pumping it up on this Monday right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We're going to go straight to the Red 7T's phone line. We've got Hurricane Bobby on the line. Bobby, are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for not bashing my Kings.
That's right. Hey, Bobby, you called it. You said it. You were right.
Man, that defensive line is so fast. That is the most fastest defensive line in college football I've ever watched. I've watched football my whole life, and that defensive line is a beast.
They're good.
I mean, Bain is unblockable one-on-one. You can say what you want. One-on-one, he can't be blocked.
There was a play in the game where there was an offensive lineman still blocking him. He tackled the dude for a 6-yard loss. The offensive line was in between him and the running back. He tackled both of them.
So me and my wife were watching the game there on the couch, and we wasn't holding hands like 6th graders or whatever, but we were sitting there. But either way.
Oh, come on.
So we were watching the game, and she says, how did he tackle with the guy still on top of him? I said, baby, he's an elite athlete, and he's the number one draft pick.
He is a freaking beast. I mean, that might be the play I'm talking about. The offensive lineman was still blocking him.
Yes.
And he tackled the offensive lineman and the running back
He tackled
for a
them both.
6-yard loss.
And you know as well as I do,
insane.
the Ohio State offensive line is like what Brian was talking about earlier. Those are cornbred, corn-fed boys from the north. They're big, but Bain was so fast.
They look lost.
They're slow.
They made them look lost.
They're slow.
Yeah. Well, and like I said,
Ole Miss's line is the same way. Ole Miss's line is big, but I've been watching them. I've watched them all year long. They're slow. They don't even know what's figuring to do.
The only caveat, and again, this is no knock. The only caveat I'll give Ole Miss, and because I think actually Ohio State's offensive line may be better. The one thing I'll give Ole Miss is that having Chambliss be mobile the way he is, it's a slightly different element. But Miami saw that, but they saw that in Reed. So it's not like they're not aware of it. But it'll be slightly different than Ohio State was because of that.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't have a problem with scrambling quarterbacks all year long. I don't think we'll have a problem.
That's right.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though, because I do have a lot of. I love Bain. I love Mesidor. I love what the defense is doing for Miami. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I love Trinidad Chambliss as well, and there has to be a little bit of how the NFL defenses has come to learn how to stop Lamar Jackson, which is keep him in the pocket and don't let him escape outside of the pocket. So that might be something that they might have to change for, just peeling their ears back and blitzing.
I've coached football for 20 years. Your defensive ends got to stay deeper than the football.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Exactly. If he starts to print out, you got to go. You got to turn him inside. All your buddies are inside.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
You can't let him get outside.
So let me ask you this. How happy were you when after the first half? Like, give me something. Did you jump? Did you? I mean, were you like a little kid in a candy store? What did you do, Bobby?
Oh, my wife fell off the bed. I do. When he picked that ball off, Hey, Keontae Scott picked the ball up. I jumped up. My wife was about asleep. She fell off the bed.
Yeah. Oh, man.
She's like, what? She thought something was going on. She freaked out. It was good, man. I had a great New Year because of that, and I think I'm going to have a great New Year to start because I don't think Ole Miss got nothing for Miami.
Well, Jeffrey, what do you think about that, Jeffrey?
My girlfriend thought I couldn't go to sleep after the game because I was so excited.
I couldn't. It was 2:30 in the morning, dude. I don't never stay up.
Yeah, I know.
And it was 2:30, man. It was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was in there eating the collard greens I was supposed to eat the next day.
You know, well, I was going to bring up an old thing but Bobby would hate that old analogy I was going to make, but it reminded me. I'm not. No, I was going to bring up the '92 Sugar Bowl, but I'm not going to do that. It reminded me more, like you said, about not being able to go to sleep. Tua's.
Yeah.
Second and 26. Yeah. I don't think I got to bed till 5 in the morning after that.
Yeah,
but that was only one play. Miami's was a game full of dominance.
It was.
Like, even when Ohio State started moving, and they're a good team, Miami stayed engaged. They really did. I mean, it was a great game.
The 3rd and 11 Carson Beck drive where he just put his head forward, the guy went for his legs, and he went over the top. That was Carson Beck just, hey, man, I'm here to win this.
That's right.
And I believe that was the key, and that's going to be the key for them moving forward. Because if you look at, like what I was saying earlier, if you look at all the national titles for the most part, they have to have that quarterback that can make those type of plays. And that's really, when I saw him make that play, I said, wow, this Miami team might be able to do it this year.
Man, I think they can do it. If they can't do it this year, I don't know. Hey, but listen, I was reading somewhere today where Jeremiah Smith has got one foot in the transfer portal.
Ooh, that would be
thanking his coaches and everything on Twitter, and he played with Mark Fletcher and Malachi Tony. And
I will say this: I saw the video.
Hartline's leaving.
I saw the video of after the game. I saw the video.
Come on, buddy.
I saw the video after the game, and he was hugging a lot of the players. He was hugging a lot of the coaches.
They played together.
Yeah, they all played together. He was down to Miami or Ohio State.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Come on home, brother.
Wow.
I don't think he's leaving, but Hartline leaving, you never know.
You never know.
Never know.
And Miami's got the money.
He's tired of that airbrush beard.
Oh, man. Well, Bobby, thank you so much.
Y'all have a great night.
Yes, sir. You too, buddy. Thank you so much for the call.
So now that they've held Texas A&M to 3 and Ohio State to 14, Ole Miss, we're not going to say the score at 39 because that late safety was nothing. 37 points on Georgia. What can Ole Miss score on Miami is the question.
That's going to be
in the 20s?
Let me just say this. I get it. So we're going to be focusing on the defense of Miami versus the offense, and that's totally legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, if Miami can do what they did against Ohio State, as far as move the ball, keep their defensive off the field, score points when they're in the red zone, and do the things that you're supposed to do, I think it will be more about that than it will be about the defense against their offense.
Biggest problem in this game, Georgia ran the ball kind of at will on Ole Miss. Miami runs a lot better than Georgia does. They really do.
Yeah.
That to me is going to be the biggest problem, because if they have to stack the box in order to stop Fletcher and Miami's running attack, that's going to open up one-on-one on the edges. And that's where, what Corey, is that his name?
Jacoby.
Yeah. Dude,
Corey,
those
Myers.
guys, those guys could have big games. I mean, so I'm not really I do think Ole Miss is going to get their points. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to be more than 21-24. I'm saying it may not matter because I think Miami's going to control the ball. They're going to keep Ole Miss defense on the field a lot, and it's going to be tough for them.
Can I guess a 24 all regulation and go into overtime?
I mean, it could be.
It could be. we got a caller on the Red 17's phone line. We're going to go ahead and take that. Chris, you're on the line. What's going on, my friend?
Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Fantastic.
Gentlemen. Never been called such a thing in my life.
I got a quick question for you. I know y'all are historians of the game, and I was just thinking about this. So, if you go back to 2003, 2002, if Miami hadn't won the year before, do you think they would have beat Ohio State that year? And then same as this year, if Ohio State hadn't won last year, do you think they would have won this year?
I don't. I don't think, as far as the secondary question about Ohio State, I don't think Ohio State would have won, and the reason is because of the quarterback play. And I know we're picking on him for this one game or whatever, but I've watched more Ohio State games this year than I have in the past, and I just don't. I think they had a really easy schedule. And I think that Jeremiah Smith and Cornell Tate are really good. I think Bo Jackson is a good back. But I don't think Julian Sayin is a guy that can lead. I don't think he's there enough. Now, maybe junior Julian Sayin, maybe senior Julian Sayin might be ready.
Yeah, this is his first starting year.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think that as far as that goes. And then the other question, I mean, we're looking at a flip on that. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but then again, they were right there. The bad call.
This was more of a different Ohio State team than maybe the differences were back then. And look, if you ask Miami fan, if you ask Bobby, they should have won the first one because of the phantom pass interference call. Well, I think it was a bad matchup for them that game in a weird way, kept it tight, and then you can have a call that maybe interferes with it. I just think Miami everything went right because they out-prepared Ohio State this time.
Yeah,
I just did.
Well, about that first game, they couldn't run on Ohio State until the second half.
That's right.
And then McGahee tore his knee up.
It was a bad matchup for Miami that year. Yep.
Yeah. Doss is a great run stopper. I'm not going to go into Ohio
right.
2002. Yeah. But then Jeff, I got one more question for you, but I got to go. Tell me that 2001, 2002 Canes aren't the best team in college football history. I want to hear your argument.
Obviously, top three, easily top three.
Easily top one, but you.
That's right.
I'll answer.
So wait, I will say this much though. Back then, I remember it was Miami against the world, and I include the referees on that one because I think we were all tired of the Miami Hurricanes and how great they were for about 11 years stretch.
See, to me, that team isn't the best team I saw. I saw 4 or 5 teams that I thought in the year were as good, if not better. It's the best assemblage of talent I've ever seen.
Because
that's not a knock on them. It's just the talent.
Was Clinton Portis on that team?
There were guys on the bench that were first rounders.
You
on
had
that team.
you had Clinton Portis and Frank Gore in the back.
Yeah. Frank Gore is a beast.
Jeremy Shockey at tight end, Andre Johnson at wide receiver, Ed Reed in defensive secondary.
Yeah,
you had the middle linebacker was with the Saints and the Jets for a long time.
Vilma.
And DJ Williams played for the Broncos for 6 years at outside linebacker.
Yeah, I'll agree with Brian. The talent was crazy, but the problem is you only have one football on the field at a time.
And you had Coker as your head coach. You didn't have Butch Davis.
True.
Larry.
I will say this, though, to give you what I think about that, because I'm not so sure about the 2019 team either. I believe they're top 5, obviously. But I will say the rules have changed from then until now, too. So then if we played in the rules of 02 or 03 or whatever in that era, I'm not so sure because the rules have changed and the way they let the Coach Saban said many years that they changed it for the defense to give the advantage to the offense. And so I will say if we played in that, I would have to lend to Miami on that.
And also with the rules now, anyone could get thrown out for targeting at any point in time.
Yes.
So that's also an issue. They didn't have replay back then. Like people don't remember that Chris Gamble caught a pass in the 2003 Fiesta Bowl that shouldn't have led to Roscoe Parrish's return to tie the game up for Miami. People don't remember that very often. But,
you're right.
But Gamble did catch the ball on the sideline. I was a Miami fan back then. I'm still a Miami fan, but not as much as I used to be. But like Ohio State won that game in regulation, but the refs just called them out of bounds. So that's the only way I come back to it. But that wasn't pass interference. But they did give up a 4th and 14, 2 plays before
that's
that.
Right.
True.
There's just a lot. It's hard, especially living in Ohio, being around Ohio people.
That's tough.
Exactly.
I've done the same thing, so that's where my hate comes from.
Yep, me too. Gentlemen, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all talking heads. Y'all have a great one. Sorry for calling you gentlemen, Brian.
You're good. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it.
Such a thing.
You know, he's right though. I mean, that all of those things were right, and that's really tough. We haven't gotten to talk about PCB Hobby, Brian, so we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
What is going on with the shop? What we got going on?
Well, we do have Super Saturday coming this Saturday, so 10% off all sealed wax. You got the wheel for $75 and more in purchase and all like that. A lot of stuff going on. And, you know, just because it's a new year doesn't mean the new products have slowed down. It is about to get crazy. My 4 favorite words in the English language are pitchers and catchers report, because that means baseball's
That's
coming.
right, here it comes.
There's so many baseball products coming out. It is unbelievable. Next week, one of the biggest products of the year, Bowman Draft, comes out. These are all the guys who just got drafted in the last draft. This will be their first cards out. So that's coming. Museum Collection, which is kind of a higher end set. That's coming out as well in the next 2 weeks. This week, you have Prism Football Blasters dropping. We have them in the shop. Can't run them out, I think, until Thursday, I believe. But those will be available. So that's always a big-time product. You have, I'm trying to see what else is coming. Topps Pixar Gold. We're going into the Disney thing. That's coming out as well. So there's a ton of new products releasing. And I can tell you guys, I bought a bunch of collections in the past 3 days. We have a ton of higher-end football singles in the shop right now that normally don't stick around very long. So a lot of cool stuff to come in and check out.
Can you give us a little bit of a hint of what you bought? Something?
A lot of downtowns, a lot of uptowns, a lot of kabooms. So the case hits, the really short printed cards that are all the rage and all the chases. I picked up 8 downtowns just in one collection.
What about the guy that starts with his name starts with a P and his last name starts with an M? PM.
Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, you got any?
Got a few things of Patrick Mahomes actually like that, but we picked up some really neat like autographs of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, a lot of just different players, Justin Herbert stuff just in time for the playoffs. I mean, a lot of cool things that normally people don't sell just yet. They wait till the end of the year. A lot of good baseball stuff, and we're starting to pick up more and more basketball things. I got some good Lucas stuff coming in. Always trying to find Jordan stuff where I can, but a lot of good stuff. And then I made my favorite buy of the year, even though it's only the very beginning of the year. I have in shop, for those of you old heads out there like me, so the 61 home run chase, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, where Maris broke the record and hit 61, right? Famously, those guys didn't sign a lot of things where both of them signed on the same picture or magazine or whatever. They didn't dislike each other. It's really hard to find where they both signed it. There's a very famous Life magazine from that year about the chase, and it's got Mantle and Maris on the cover. I got an autograph by both of them on that magazine, on the cover, framed and certified by JSA, one of the top certification units in the world. I have never seen one of those before in front of me. That's in our shop for sale right now.
Wow. Jeffrey, time to get to the 401k. Time to get to the 401k and get that bought.
Yeah. So really cool stuff, historical things. Also picked up an autographed picture of Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., which is a really neat item. So a lot of cool stuff, but the biggest thing is that so much new product in, so many cool things getting ripped. We had so much fun with all our visitors in over the week, but now it's time for locals to come back out. All those visitors that were here for the beach ball drop, they've gone home.
Yeah,
so
they are.
All these new products are available for you, and what better time to do it than Super Saturday?
Do you have some of the Topps Chrome Disney? I know you don't have the packs anymore or the boxes, but do you have any of those individual cards?
I have a few.
Like maybe some the princesses and stuff like that.
A lot of people aren't selling them back to us because they like them so much.
Yeah.
But we do have some boxes of Disney Wonder. We have the new Pixar coming out soon. So there are going to be a few more Disney things in there. We actually have some of the Marvel products as well. So those have been really popular. But there's also a lot of other stuff coming out. There's soccer products dropping left and right. Museum Collection Soccer just came out. There's a new wrestling product coming out at the end of the month. WWE product that's always popular. UFC stuff. I mean, it's
rocking and rolling.
They are covering every base. There are pickleball and bowling cards, by the way, as well. I'm not making that up.
That's what I think Jeffrey's going to do. He eventually is going to join pickleball.
Dart cards.
Yeah. Either way, We're going to go and take a break, and when we come back, we've got to talk about it. Oregon, Texas Tech. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida Gator basketball returns Tuesday.
And it goes in at the buzzer.
It's the Florida Gators versus the number 22 Georgia Bulldogs.
Three-pointer, punch it in.
We'll have live play-by-play from the Stephen C. O'Connell Center in Gainesville Tuesday starting at 6.
Oh, you saw that coming, Ram. Goodness.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your NFL and college football headquarters is Dak Cajun Place. With 27 TVs, you won't miss a play or a game. Score 50-cent wings during live games every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 50-cent wings and $5 pitchers during live games only at Dak Cajun Place. LSU and Saints fans, wear your team colors and get free Jell-O shots when LSU or the Saints score. Plus brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2 with $3 mimosas. Game like a local at Dak Cajun Place.
Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all over paint jobs, from fender benders to major collisions, it's Recommended Collision Center. They work with all insurance companies and offer customer pay options too. A family-owned collision center that takes pride in top quality repairs, friendly service, quick drop-off, and a fast turnaround. So when life throws you a wreck, they'll help you get amended. Recommended Collision Center, 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City.
If you didn't receive those special gifts Santa promised you this Christmas, do you know those boots and shirts with all the accessories? Well, it's never too late to shop that boot store. The rack after rack of famous name brands, including Carhartt work clothes, awaiting your shopping pleasures. You haven't shopped for Western wear until you shop that boot store, offering a lot more than boots. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street.
ESPN North.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. You know what? When I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and when I'm right, I'm right. I told you guys that Texas Tech was not going to be able to play with Oregon. Now, we can have the discussion about it. We don't have but about 15 minutes. I think that's about all we need. But I do think the fact of the matter is I do not believe they were athletic enough. I just don't. And let me just say why. Oregon struggled, and I believe it was the play calling. And so I was texting a lot of my friends that are from Kentucky, and I said, you get Will Stein as your next head coach. I would be very, very disappointed because his play calling was absolutely horrific. That score could have been 50-0 and without even blinking, because it just seemed like some of the play calls was terrible. The best player on the defensive line for Texas Tech, they didn't even chip block him. They just let him run a miss. He had probably 10 or 12 tackles because they only blocked him with their one right tackle. And he wasn't that great. I mean, there wasn't anything he was doing that was just so fantastic. It was just that the right tackle was very slow. So realistically, Indiana's probably going to beat the mess out of Oregon because of that if he comes back with the play in. But Texas Tech, are we all on the same page now? They're not ready for big boy football just yet.
Well, I've got an interesting thought on that. So I think Texas Tech's defense had more to do with it than you do. Texas Tech's defense is legit, and you're going to see that in the draft when they have 2 linebackers go in the top 10. Nonetheless,
10?
offensive, yeah. That's what the projections are saying right now.
I don't think they'll go in the top 10.
Well, let's say top
we'll see.
15.
We'll
Fair
see.
enough. Offensively, Morton finally fully healthy. Kind of looked like John Mateer when he got fully healthy. It was like something was off.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they did not play a great game. Maybe it was too big a spotlight for them. They hadn't been there. But here's what I noticed when after that game, and I was surprised by it. After that game, everything I'm reading after the game, summing up Texas Tech and that, I'm not saying it's exactly identical, but I will tell you this. It is word for word, swap the school names, exactly what I read about a team last year. Indiana. Not ready for the big time yet. Didn't really play a great schedule. Blew out a bunch of nobodies. First time they were tested. Exactly the same thing I heard. So I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to work out the same way and they're going to be number 1 next year on the table.
Could be.
But I am telling you, they've got the will. They've got the money. They just signed the top quarterback out of the portal. I think Texas Tech is a lot better than people realize. They just weren't quite ready yet. Now, maybe that's next year. Maybe it's 2 years from now. But if you just cast them aside, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
So I have a mock draft right here, okay? And I don't say I trust it, but it didn't look too unbiased other than 4 Ohio State guys going in the first round. Yeah. That was the only thing a little fishy, But those 2 edge guys, 9th and 23rd.
That's one you saw. I saw one where they were both top 10.
And we're talking about Rodriguez and then
Height and Bailey.
Okay, so Height and Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bailey was the edge rusher. That's the guy.
Look, it's not the most dominant defense. That was a good defense. I think they played well enough to keep them in the game. Offensively, they could not figure anything, keep anything going. And
6-0 at half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they wasn't good defense. They didn't play good. They didn't deserve the accolades that they got. I think they played the easier of the group.
Sure.
I think Oregon is the easier group.
So Oregon's untested because they didn't play James Madison and Texas Tech. Maybe the worst 2 teams in those rounds.
Hey,
and now they got to play Indiana.
Yeah. That's what Penn State did last year. It's the exact same run.
And so now Indiana has destroyed Bama and from the SEC.
So
maybe destroyed Oregon, and who knows? They might get Miami in a national championship. That'd be 3 different conferences.
But that's what's crazy about this game is normally, let's say they hadn't played in the regular season, we'd be way up on Indiana.
Yeah.
But we've seen it how many times playing a team twice in a year.
Yeah.
We just saw it with Ole Miss and Georgia.
Yeah.
Oregon playing Indiana is probably, as much as Miami's playing better, Ole Miss is on cloud 9 with everything they're doing. Their confidence is off the chart. You would think this is who Indiana wants to play. My guess it's probably the least team they want to play.
You're right. And Alabama, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Rematch again.
Yeah.
Went the other way.
Went the other way. That went the other way. That went the other way. That went
Alabama and Georgia in the SEC championship.
Ole Miss and Georgia.
Right. Same
I thought
thing.
about that before the game. I was like, because somebody was saying with Saban had said, it's hard to win 2 in one season.
Right.
I don't know if it's a 3rd or 4th time Alabama, Georgia have done that.
Well, let me just say this, and I don't know if you guys were here whenever I said it last week, but I looked that up because I always that's the whole saying. But did you know that 64% of the times, as long as you're favored, 64% you double them up, you don't split. So realistically, if Indiana is and I'm sure they are projected to be the winner.
Yeah. They're 3.5.
If they're ahead of them, then they have a 64% more of chance to beat them twice.
Sure.
Because, it is hard to beat somebody the second time, but most of the time it goes the other way.
But you know what's interesting, and look, this is just a quirk of the way it goes, because if different teams had won, it was what it, and look, Miami could play the national championship in their backyard, but it is weird that Ole Miss and Miami are playing in Arizona.
True.
Oregon and Indiana are playing in Atlanta.
Crazy.
It's just a quirk of the schedule, but
and you like that. You like them go ahead and play in.
Oh yeah,
you like them setting where it's going to be.
Now, I mean, look, ideally, it'd be nice if there was like a site that was in between the two schools.
Yeah.
Like Indiana and Oregon, where are you going to play? In Kansas City? That'd
Denver.
be a decent site.
Yeah.
Denver, not so much, but I'd say Kansas City would be a good neutral site.
Yeah.
But then you got Ole Miss and Miami. We're going to play in Atlanta?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. No, absolutely not.
But no, I mean, look, you know who? And it's a good thing Oregon has all that Nike money. Because, man, they are putting up some airline fuel.
Yeah. But let me ask you
They
this.
just went to Miami. Now they're coming to Atlanta.
Are we going
They have to go to Miami again if they win.
Is anybody going to be able to pack out the Miami Stadium, though? The Dolphins can't do it. Miami hasn't done it all year. And then definitely
Formula One does it.
Oregon, Texas Tech didn't happen. So you saw a bunch of empty seats in that
Championship game will be full.
Hopefully.
So how much do you think tickets? Because I'm going to let you know if Ole Miss wins. If. I'm going to let you know how much my daughter got tickets for to go to Miami. Because this is a very resourceful girl. She's going to find tickets somehow.
Yeah. Are you going?
Oh, no. I'm not going to the national championship. I've already been to a national championship for football and baseball. I've got to finish a trifecta and go to a basketball national championship.
Let me ask y'all something real quick. I know we only have a couple of minutes here, but we kind of discussed it a little bit off the air. I do want to talk about it a little bit. The 4 games that were played, I noticed, and especially in the old Ohio State-Miami game, the plays of penalties was not at all. It seems like, and I had said this to somebody else, and then, Brian, you brought this up too. It seemed like they had a meeting for the referees, and they said, look, we're not going to be the ones to decide these games. And I've never seen so many games that are such importance where the referees really wasn't a factor. Both teams held, just so you know. In the Ohio State game, the Ole Miss game, Alabama's game, Oregon's game, they all were holding on the offensive line. There was several holes that they did not call. There were several defensive penalties that they could have called that they did not call, but they let them play.
I don't see any way there wasn't a directive for all 4 games to look identical. But the one thing that was fun, we talked about, there were 2 calls that stood out to us, but there was no glaring miscall in any of the 4 games.
Except for
not one that changed the game that was super consequential.
Yeah, okay.
The face mask.
That
in
one,
the Ole
that's
Miss game,
everybody.
I thought Miami got kind of hosed on when they went back and reviewed the first down thing.
Yes.
I think that, other than that, there wasn't a big, when there was a pretty egregious pass interference call late in the game, that one would get called. But you didn't see a flag that was like, that's ticky-tack. There was a lot of holding going on.
Yeah.
So they clearly, to me, told them.
And they let both of them do it. If they didn't call it on both, they didn't call it at all.
I hated to get mad, but I did get mad. And it was Jeremiah Smith on the left-hand side did a 10 and then a slant in. And they threw the flag right at him. And that's where they were calling the hold on the defense against Miami.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. Rewind, watched it. Rewind, watched it again.
And then
there was no hold.
Then there was a pause.
Phantom hold.
And then there was a pause, and you texted me. And you said, what is
I was
this?
like, what in the world? There was no hold. The guy didn't even touch him.
Yeah. Jeff's exact words were, I rewound it, and watched it 3 times. He did not hold him. They're trying to let Ohio State win.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you know what else was going on online as well during the Ole Miss and Georgia game? Whenever there was a couple of calls for Georgia at the end, they started
don't get me wrong. The face mask, I went, here's the Kirby again.
Yeah.
I did.
They started talking about it.
But again, the fact that that's all there was in 4 games where they clearly were not throwing flags.
They were, and it was a directive because they couldn't. It was such the unification of all 4 games.
Every one of those games looked exactly the same.
We got 20 seconds. You like that, or do you hate it?
I hate all the holding, but I'd rather it be this way than too many calls.
You like it?
If you're going to call a holding, I'd rather it be in the secondary and not on the line.
Yeah, because every play we know, those hands get outside of the body. How many times have we seen them curve in, and they're going to be holding? So, but either way, we did it. We definitely will be back tomorrow. We got to talk some portal stuff tomorrow, so don't miss it. Either way, thanks for listening today. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We will see you tomorrow.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for college basketball.
And it goes in at the buzzer. Got it.
Listen to select games from the LSU Tigers, Florida Gators, the Auburn Tigers, and the biggest games around the country play here.
Three-pointer. Punch it in. Oh, we saw that coming, Ram.
The most live college basketball on the Panhandle.
Game is over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. A mixture of slight fog and mostly clouds tonight with a low near 58 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Some clouds tomorrow morning, a light breeze and a temperature of 69. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 71 with partly cloudy skies. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some sun Wednesday and very warm around 71. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida.